Stan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Define disruption. What does it mean to you?
A great term if you're a small company or somebody trying to make a change in the industry, and it's scary if you're an incumbent. Disruption basically means, and in the sense I'm using, a new technology that comes in and changes the way something works. The Internet of Things, for instance, is a very disruptive force. Gartner actually said that the smart machine era will be the most disruptive in the history of IT, which basically means earlier disruptions in that created things like Microsoft and Google and Facebook, and eliminated other companies like Borders bookstores and video stores like Blockbuster, and now taxis are threatened. I think there's disruption is a technology that comes through and enables other entrants into a market to change the way the world works.
What is the kind of challenges that it poses as far as leadership is concerned?
It depends on which side of that you're on. So if you are a small company, it's an opportunity, and the best thing you do is figure out the most disruptive place you can apply your limited resources. If you're a large company, this is a horrible time to be without a strategy. You really need to figure out how you're going to become a leader in the new way. I think it's a very significantly different world that's coming very quickly. GE famously said you go to bed, and it's the CEO of GE, you go to bed at an industrial company and you wake up a software and services company. And I think you go to bed a software and services company and you pretty much wake up a networking and security company, because it really is about connectivity and data flow, and what you can do with that kind of information really changes everything. The internet was quite disruptive to banks and travel agencies and things like that, but it really didn't affect industry at all. Medical systems, power systems, manufacturing systems are almost completely untouched by the ability to communicate more than just within a little area. Okay,
so what are the sectors that you see getting affected by disruption the most in 2016?
The ones that will be disrupted in 2016 are the things that haven't been changed in the last 30 years. So the most disruptive technologies I see out there, autonomous vehicles, probably number one. It's going to change the way the world works. And then air vehicles and ground vehicles will just make a complete difference in the way we drive, of course, but also the way we communicate, the way we monitor search and rescue and fire systems, the way we deliver packages remotely. All those kinds of things are going to be very much changed by that. In the medical world, it's really about better care by having the machines take some of the burden off of the busy and harried care teams, as well as surgical systems, surgical robotics, surgical video systems that allow remote and distributed access. And we also see a huge change in the power grid, especially with the solar and wind power. Today, the shocking truth is that most of that solar energy and wind energy is completely wasted, in that the power plant still has to run at about the same capacity it was running before, because it can't rely on constant power. Since it can't change its output very quickly, it has to always generate enough to handle the worst case if the sun goes behind a cloud, something like that, which means you really haven't reduced your power consumption much at all. Newer systems will have intelligent distributed field systems that can wrap solar with battery systems and wind systems and do a much, much better job of being efficient with generating what's called distributed energy resources. So those are sort of the three things we see the most adoption of the industrial area. Oh, and manufacturing also, which is often more about optimization and predictive maintenance and more plug-and-play, building systems easier. But every industry is going to be amazingly affected. If it wasn't completely transformed by the last internet, which most industrial systems were not, it will be in the next 10, 15 years, if not the next year.
Okay, Stan, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. You're welcome.